believe it or not, most of this functionality is already done for us. So most of it's already done for us because how we structured this. So since most of it's already done for us on it, is all we really have to do is change the file name of it and give it what it needs to be. So really, in all honesty, this right here is exactly what we need. So we are going to copy this, okay, and in here we see we got the stream and it's craft master. Well, instead of craft master, we need it to be what it is in our system. So get item, okay, that's cool and all, and that's just dumb. Craft player craft level, player craft level, and where do we call this? Folder path and that. So player craft level, where do we call this? Okay, so where do we actually call this? Is it in here? No. Player stats, do we call it in there? Go to declaration, no. Not there. Not there. Player. Go to thing. Okay, so we're player dot level details. We require the level. Okay, and checking. So really, I don't know where we're calling this, or if we are actually are. So go to all references. Does it here? Ah, and we pass it a string. Do it craft path, which is probably the same thing that we're doing over there. Craft path, player crafts. Okay, so craft path, and then we are passing an integer. Okay, wait a minute. This is the string version. Save. Let's seek all references here. We do it here and here. So we're actually giving some type of thing here. Well, that don't sound right. Huh. You know what? Just to make this, we got our craft path. We're just going to give it a hard-coded string in right here. Because there's no sense in sitting here trying to find something when all you have to do is change a simple string like this. And instead of the number, we do this. Okay? No. Don't want that. Don't want that. Okay. So, our integer, we'll do this. We'll call this build player craft item. Okay? So, now we need a button again. These buttons. And I think I'm going to have it up here like this. Okay. And we will call it build player file. Okay. And we will not do this. We will call our build player file with an integer of our choosing, which will be our okay. So shifting doesn't want to act right, does it? And we're gonna put our level variable in there. Okay. And that should be it. See, we have loading and everything, and we can just rebuild a file as we need. So, now we'll have a build file. So, we're going to have a level 2 here. And so we have crafting, leveling, level 1. And then we have our craft master list stuff. Okay. But we need a player file. So what's going to happen is we're going to go up to here and we're going to type 2 and we're going to do a build file. So let's dock this somewhere. Okay, we don't need the item editor. So we can close this one. The inspector, it should always be around. Navigation, no, I hardly ever mess with it. So now we should get a crafting, leveling, and then an integer. We should get a second one of that. So let's build file. Okay. Well, we know we have to reload because the way USD is. Reload. And there we go. We got a second one. So this is giving all our UI stuff what we want, I guess. And what this file is good for is if you have a UI system where you want the UI system to just care about the player level. If it's not our level, then boom. Okay, and pass it a text document or whatever. So we have level 2 now. Alright, that's cool. So let's remove this and load up the file. Oh, there's level 2. Well, let's rebuild. Bam. And that's how easy it would be to make changes. Okay? To that. And now we can, since we got level 2, we can save changes. And it might be nice just to make sure that every time we do something, it wouldn't be hard to make it do a button like we did on the other one. Yeah, actually that wouldn't be hard at all. I actually might do that for this one now. Because I don't think it cares what it actually is. You can go 5 and it doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah. That's probably going to be okay. And then, you know, hey, you want to do some saving. Okay, this is level 1. Let's rebuild its file. Crafting level 1. Bam. And that's really nice. And you can go, well, what's the whole point of it? It gives our UI layer and then the file location that it needs. So then you can have your buttons be instantiated and passing every single one of these values the way it's supposed to be. You know, because you're going to have a collection somewhere that's tracking all this anyway. And, you know, because your UI needs some type of pointer into a data anyway. So, and it'll be really fast. So let's see what this gives us. Okay. And we will have that. And it will give us all of our data that we need. Right. And like you see, it gives us our item. Okay. And then the file pointer and all that. And it gives us an array form. So this can be completely directed right straight into our game. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts, or anything like that. So, yeah. Works very well. Like so. Now, let's see level 2. Get rid of the first one, and let's see if OBS picks it up. Yes. Okay, so we get our single variable, which is level 2. Okay, and now we have everything that we actually need to pass items into our UI layer. Okay, so 1. Let's load. 2. Load, which is only one variable, which is fine. Let's add. Okay, and we can save. And yeah, this actually turned out really nice. So let's purdy this up a little bit more, which was my idea in the first place anyway. So we have that variable and everything, which is fine. Okay, so in our editor, right here at the very top, we've got an integer. Okay, well that works, I guess. maybe we want some buttons. Wouldn't it be cool to have some buttons? So in our buttons, we will do a GUI layout dot button. Where's that? Pretty sure it's GUI layout button. GUI layout dot button. We pass a string. Then what it's going to do. And the beauty about this one is we don't have to care about whether they exist or anything like that. So we are going to go next. Let's do the next one first, because the next one, we need an if statement, if, and then we go into here. Okay. So what are we going to do? Well, it's easy. We're going to do level plus 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 plus, and we are going to call our load function. Our load function. Or are we? It wouldn't hurt to call it our load function. Okay. And then we will go back one. Minus, 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 and we load. So now we've got back. And just like everything else, we wanted this to be side by side, okay? Which is fine. All we do is GUI layout dot begin horizontal again. Okay, that's fine. And then we do GUI layout dot in horizontal. Simple as pie. Simple as pie. Okay, so in our class thingy, we'll go back up to Unity. Okay, and we will be parsing out our little things. Okay, so now it rebuilds next and back, which are kind of backwards, but well, you know, that's easy change. So now we have our back, which we don't have a file for. That's fine, and it doesn't give us an error. Next, 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 and it doesn't care. Okay, so before we load up the information, it might be nice to just clear it, which wouldn't be hard to do. Okay, so if we go up to next, before we load the information, we should probably go no. We're not going to do that. Actually, we could. Because this is just removing everything. And when we do next, we load plus plus and then load. Back, and load. Well, wait a minute. If we do the load player function, we have a thing. If it exists, okay, which is fine. But let's do an if statement in here, okay? And this seems a little bit more cleaner to me to do this type of statement, because if the file doesn't exist, we probably don't want any of this stuff anyway. So remove all. Okay, so if it's true, no, we want false. And I forgot to flip it over again. That's okay. I'm going to be going over this very, very big time in a scripting lesson thing and stuff, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. Okay, so we have, if it's false, we do that. Let Unity do its compile thing. Did it do it already? No? Probably not. Okay, so this. Okay, so now if the file doesn't exist, it calls one time a clear. So these files don't exist in our system, okay, and now these are. So it looks like we are selecting a between all of our files. Okay, so yeah, this works as intended. Bam, 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 next. Okay, so yeah, we can definitely go through here. We don't have a level 0, which is natural, but we need level 3, okay? The only problem is if you hit next and then go back, it clears it. So that kind of stinks, but that's okay. If you save now and then go remove all, it still acts the way it's supposed to. Okay. Alright, so you got a level management system thing for your UI. If you wanted to make some negative numbers or something, I guess you could. You know, well, we could make that into a prefix. Okay, so now we have our crafting thing. Text field, layer, this. Instead of an int field, we should do a prefix. Okay? And this will be nothing like this again, and we'll have no overloads like this. It's just a simple thing, okay? And we'll say your crafting level file, put a space, and then plus level. Okay, so now we've got something cool. So in our thing, so when we done that is now we have our Edgar here. Let it compile and do all its stuff, and now we have our visual say your crafting level, and then it cuts it off. That's not cool. Why you cut off? Why you cut off? That's that's kind of retarded. Why you wh why is this thing cut off like this? That's not very cool. Okay, so can I put some spacing here? GUI style. Make some font changes. Styling. I need more pixels. That's not cool. So let's, maybe we can do this. We'll do a plus another empty string that has just emptiness in it. Okay, and it was this. And we're just going to plus a empty string here. So it should let this exist in the space now. And we just save. Okay. And we get out of the code stuff. Back into Unity. And it shouldn't cut this off now. See how it cuts the number off? It's kind of bummer. Shouldn't cut it off now. And it does. That's dumb. That is dumb. Maybe it's because shouldn't cut that off. That's just dumb. It probably cuts that stuff off too, which is gonna really irritate me. Yep, it cuts all that stuff off. Okay, let's just, yeah, that's totally terrible. Okay, so that's not very awesome. It cuts it off. Alright, so instead of that, we're just going to add it to the GUI outbox. Okay. We are just so we have this, and we can make another box. I want a label, but it's got other formatting issues. Label. Can I do a label field and that would be fine? Or is it, actually I think it's still editable. I think it's just not a quasi, just a string that is there. Oh! Yeah. Okay, that'll work. So in our thing, I just made it a label. I wanted a prefix, but it wouldn't work for me. So we've got a nice little text field right here for our current level. Your crafting level file to current level and everything else. And you can change it to whatever you want, you know, that kind of stuff. But this can easily be used for your UI layer and your pointer for your objects. So yeah, you could definitely make some cool stuff with that. I like it. And everything else. Yeah. So that is definitely going to be our little UI layer thing for today. So in our projects and stuff, we have that. And it's really nice because of, you know, the whole, I guess, just pointer location stuff. So in our script, we'll go over it one last time. And we don't need link here, but I thought we needed some formatting stuff. That's cool. So our variables will be our editor get items, so we can instantiate and all that good stuff. And go to definition, and it goes and just, it's a list of get items, which is just a string, 2 strings. That way we can just point to stuff. Okay, we have a vector2 for our scroll link thing, and a current level, which is cool and all, and you know, and then we have this initial menu stuff. This is all for the editor window. We have to have it with the file extension editor window. And we have a variable here just for the help box, so it's just a string. And then a space, our help box, which we feed in helpbox.top. GUI label, you know, your crafting, blah blah blah. And this is an on GUI function. And we just have simple buttons here, you know, level up, level down, going to load the function based on level, which is fine. You know, and then we have layout stuff, horizontal, beginning, and then scroll position equals the scroll position, the beginning scroll position, and we pass in our variable, okay? And then we do a for each item in our list. Then we just type out text, which is editor layout text field, object file name, and then it's value. This is the value thing. And you have to have this up here and here, so when you're typing in the editor, if you don't have this here, then when you hit enter and go to save the changes and stuff, it'll just put it right back to its value. It'll be annoying, and you'll be like, oh, it's broken, I don't like it. But that's why. And then we do our ends, which is just it, and a simple button doing build crafts, and add file. We add something to an array, which I shouldn't say add file, I should add to list, and then remove all. I'll just put add, then remove all, because it's kind of deceiving. And all it does is get the array type objects, get items, and all its array. Very simple. And a file stream, which we only have one of these for everything. So yeah, does really good and does its job. And build player files, builds it out to crafting level. You know, we stuff everything in our list to array. Okay, then we serialize it. Serialize this value right here, the array, because we just don't want it to go into our file as a list, because when we go to load it up, we are doing arrays in our game, and we don't want lists because they're a little bit more memory. So we do it this way. And we have an overload for per level, so that way we can build per file as we want. Now we have a saving, which we're saving everything in a craft manager. Okay, which these two functions right here are pretty much the same except the extension. Okay, which you can make it all one, but I just didn't want to because the file extension, I want it more flexible. It takes everything that we need out and puts it into the array, and then we do a loop to add everything into our list. Because arrays are not resizable in C#, we have to use a list to save to, okay, to add to, so that we can add and remove and sorting and all that stuff. If this was Java, then it would be resizable, but we are not Java, we are C#. And it makes more sense to a lot more people to do it this way versus the other. And then at the very, very end, we make sure we close the file. Because if something else tries to use the file, you'll have a crash. You'll basically crash it because it's multiple things cannot open and read from this file. Okay, it's a sharing violation, and it crashes and does all kinds of not so good things. So, and two, I think it can corrupt your file too. So we close it. Okay. Now this is a simple check. If the file doesn't exist in our master filing system, then we just clear everything. And this gives us our next thing is when we hit next, the file doesn't exist. We can then create it and do all kinds of fun stuff. Very, very approachable, so you don't have to worry about the indexing issues or anything like that. Very easy to work with. Much easier than our other manager I made. So now in our Unity window, we have all this cool stuff. Change the number below, load your file, blah, blah, blah. And we can just hit bit, next, 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 next. Doesn't matter what number it is or anything else. If we wanted to go straight to 100 or something like that, we can go level 12. Okay, we don't have a level 12 here. Let's add a value and let's build a file. Okay. Well, it built the file, but because of Unity's little thing of slow motion and stuff, we refresh. Oh, crafting level 12. Okay. And what it does is it just does our level 12 stuff. That's all that we get when we're level 12. Now, there's a little if, ands, or buts. You could have stuff missing. What I would recommend is if you go from one level to the next, what I would do is just Control-D it, copy it, load it up in your editor, and what your editor will do is load up the old information, but then you can add another element to it. Like each level you add another thing. Or, you can replace stuff by, like, if you're level 12, you get a better healing potion, or this and that. there's a lot of stuff that you can do with it. You know, like, hey, the level 1 guy has a health pack that, you know, it only gives him 10 health. Well, if his crafting level is level 10 now, well, guess what? We should probably make his health pack be worth more. That way you can balance out your game a lot more, and you can, like, make your UI elements a lot less by doing that. It makes it a little bit more flexible that way. So I think what I'm going to do is say this is it for this stream and stuff. And, well, you know, that's the crafting, you know, how we can keep track of all the recipes and all that good stuff. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty awesome. And like I said, this piece right here is all your UI stuff. Okay, the stuff that you display in your UI, and then the object file. You know, you just point it to the object file that you want, which, you know, is whatever the thing you want. I mean, you could probably, actually, what I should do is put a .txt file in there. Just put a file in there. Is that even possible? Can I do that? Can I do that? Probably not through here. But as a manager, can I put a public file there? Public file. I probably have to have system.io, yes. Let's just put it in this system right here. Which is part. Let's make this public and see if I can put a file there. Just a regular generic file. Okay, and manager. Manager. Inspector. Player. Crafts. Data. Item requested. No, it's not part of that one. Is it part of player stats? No. What part of... Oh, it's player and then player. Craft data? No. Well, where is debug? Data. No. 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 Part of player and then player file. It won't show it. If I force Unity to serialize it, will it do? Serializable field? Or do I have to pass it a type right off the bat? Probably so. It probably will not let me right off the bat like that. But that's okay. That's okay, because I think what I can do is put a public text asset test. Okay, and it will let me do that. I know it will let me do that. So player.player.this text asset. it goes into a text asset. So we can put a text. What? Really? It's not considered a text asset? What? Are you freaking serious? Wow, that's not considered a text asset. So that's XML. Wow. Now put an XML document there. Okay, because if I can do an XML document, it would save us a very. Oh no, it won't let me. Darn. Okay, so what's this instance message? That's kind of a bummer. Oh well. What can you do, you know? Would have been nice, though. What happens if I try to put this? Ooh. Serializable. See if I can get this to serialize. Serialize. Ah! Instance. Blah blah blah. Okay. So, serializable. It probably won't force it to be, but that would be nice. No reference. Shut up. I know all about that. Nope. Still won't do it. That's a bummer. Oh well. Can you even see a serializer publicly? I don't think you can. I think I have to send or descend from a XML thingy to do that. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Even though it's like that. Okay, so that doesn't work the way I want it to. We don't need this file to be public, and we don't need that. Okay, yeah. I'll have to read into that. I'm pretty sure to get Unity to serialize and be able to type in a file, we should be able to. But, you know. What do you know, right? So, I think I'm going to end this stream just the way it is. And, you know, do the whole awesome stuff. and everything. Do the whole because, well, you know, there's not much I can do on this subject, and you know, people gotta eat. So yeah, take care, guys, and I hope you enjoy the show and everything like that. And thanks for watching, subscribing, and all that cool stuff. And, you know, you make this all possible and great and stuff. So, but I'll probably have another tutorial over this kind of stuff later. So don't worry about it if you don't understand it. There's a lot of material covered in here between classes and other stuff. So don't be afraid to be confused. But man's gotta go eat and stuff. So take care and be cool, guys. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.